So, my dad passed away in 2015. We weren't talking, and it took a month for his family to track me down. Before I ever knew he was gone, I started hearing from him in heaven. It consumed me. How is communication with the other side even possible? I left my corporate gig, studied with spiritual teachers on every coast, and worked with my angels to figure out the answers. Today, my mission is teaching you how to raise your vibration, shift your thoughts, trust your intuition, develop your unique spiritual gifts, and connect with your loved ones and angels on the other side. Friends, when you have these tools, life really does become heaven on earth.
Hello, beautiful souls. It's Julie, and you're listening to Angels and Awakening. Today, I am here with Adria. And if you haven't listened to some of my previous podcast episodes, Adria is a new member of my angel wellness team, where I have a team of healers that I've trained through the Angel Reiki School. And the way that Adria is really unique is she came in and she was already trained in astrology. And so when she went through the Angel Reiki school, she was able to piece together and bring an intuitive piece into astrology. What I love about her work is that I've been fascinated with astrology for a long time. I've never done a deep dive into it, but the part that always kind of blocked me, excuse me, my voice is going a little bit, or where maybe I blocked myself, was that some people, just like with being a medium or intuitive, some people can take it down a negative path. And if you listen to the show, you know I don't like to go there, and I like to keep everything positive, because the other side, since we have free will, they're always going to give us positive, loving messages. Let us make a choice, right? And so Adria really tells you things and explain things in a way where there is no doom and gloom, right? There is no like, oh my God, this is in your chart. So, your world is ending, or, this is doomed. And that's what I love about her work. She's like, no, this is a tool that you can use to really live your best life. So, Adria, that's probably the most talking I'm going to do today, because my voice is going in and out today. I'm so sorry. We have a lot to dive into. Got so many questions. You talk about the fact that you're more than just your sun sign. Explain that to people. And yeah, explain. You take it away.
Well, thank you for the introduction. I appreciate the compliments, and I'm really happy to be here. So, thank you for having me on the show. Yeah, so more than just your sun sign. I guess I just so we're all grounded and have a little bit of background. When we talk about sun signs, we're talking about the zodiac signs. And essentially the sun sign is just, where was the sun in the zodiac when you were born, right? So when people ask you what's your sign, most people know that part of themselves, which is certainly their sun. And that's just, and when we're talking zodiac signs, guys, we're just talking about Aries, Taurus, Gemini. There's 12. We can list them. I can go into more detail if we have time later on. But just generally speaking, we're pretty familiar with our sun sign. And what I wanted to talk about today is really, if astrology is something that you're interested in, and you find horoscopes to be fascinating, and or that's something that you just like to look at or look into, I would strongly encourage you all to look at the big three. So being more than just our sun sign at a very high, simple level is just looking at your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. So let me just break that down real quick and let you guys know what that means and kind of what I'm talking about a little bit. But so where was the sun in the zodiac when you were born? The sun stays in each zodiac sign for 30 days. So if someone has a birthday near yours, they probably share your same sun sign. And that's pretty common. And we all sort of relate with people who are Geminis or Taurus or, Sagittarius, whatever it is. So that's kind of the sun. And the sun in astrology, our sun sign, is representative of our ego, kind of who we are at our core, kind of our heart also. So there's a big part of us that's associated with our sun sign and tied to our sun sign, and a lot of different pieces and parts in there, but it's only one piece. So the other part that I find really, and actually as an astrologer, it's the part of it's the part of any birth chart that I really like looking at, and that's the moon sign. So the moon moves through the zodiac about every 2.5 days. So it's not going to be, yeah, it definitely moves a little bit quicker. And it's going to bring a different flavor to our overall personality based on where it's located. So the moon moves through the zodiac like I mentioned, every 2.5 days. So it's pretty quick. But the moon represents our emotions, and it also represents sort of our unconscious self. So it's the part of us that we may or may not be as connected to. So as an astrologer, it's super interesting to pull out the moon information and talk to people about, do you know this about yourself? Do you understand that this is kind of how you're dealing with emotions, or how does that resonate with you? I guess is probably a better way to put it, but super interesting. And just when you're thinking of where the moon is as it relates to astrology, think of how's that tied to my emotions? Is that something I connect with emotionally? Is that how I express myself emotionally and process information? So, yep, sun, moon. And the last one is our rising sign. It's also referred to as our ascendant. And that's exactly what it is. So, when you were born, whatever zodiac sign was actually on the right on the earth ascending, what was coming up is your ascending sign. And that changes every 2 hours. So, yeah.
Wow.
So, right, right. But all of those parts to me, I see it kind of like, I mean, we're all unique and we all have different characteristics, but those big three really blended together are a much more complete picture of us or as individuals from an astrology perspective.
Okay,
So,
so
yeah.
I'm so intrigued by that it changes every 2 hours that I missed that. So sun is more egoic mind, moon
Yep.
is more emotion, unconscious self, may or may not be connected to rising sign though. What is this?
Yes, thank you, thank you. I didn't mention that. So that's our outward appearance. And I find this one, yes, I find this interesting because a lot of people will say, "Oh, no one recognizes my sign." I'd be surprised if you have and know what your rising sign is, because a lot of people, that's how we come across. So people see us more as our rising sign. Some astrologers actually refer to this as your mask. So it's the mask that you put on, it's the mask that you wear, right? So yeah.
What- So is it kind of like physically or your personality, or is it a combination of both? What is it?
Interesting. Yeah, it's both. There are physical aspects to ascending signs that tie to how we actually look physically. Additionally, it's how we come across. It's how people see us. So maybe if you're an Aries rising and you're really kind of a bold person, but your sun sign is different, they're going to really see that come across. So yeah.
Wow. This is fascinating. Okay. All right. I'm going to let you just keep running with it.
No, no, you're doing good. So when I say really consider the big three, so, and this is where your own intuition comes in, right? And your own free will and understanding how all of these things are working for you. But just looking at, the sun, the moon, and the rising and pulling some of them together. So some people will read horoscopes, right? So they like to get their horoscope and read their horoscope, or they like to look in the paper or wherever you're getting that information. And that's great. I would say take a look at all three of them and see what resonates with you. And it's interesting because you'll find different pieces and parts of the different, yeah, zodiacs that will resonate differently. Or you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's absolutely me.
Friends, it's September, and I wanted to pause here for a moment to let you know that we're keeping enrollment open for the 12-week Healing Your Inner Child course, which started September 6th. This course is one of my deepest courses that I've led, and what it does is take you on this incredible journey of understanding yourself more deeply by understanding your ancestors and how their journey ties in with yours. You can sign up for this 12-week course at any time through my website, theangelmedium.com. Three more quick things. If you'd like to develop your spiritual gifts, you can join the upcoming class of my Angel Reiki School. If you'd like to book a session with me or one of the healers on my team who've gone through my Angel Reiki School and are now part of my online Angel Wellness Center, you can do so on my website. Lastly, the book will be coming out in November, and it'll be up for pre-sale by September 9th this month on Amazon. It's called Angels and Awakening, just like this podcast. Friends, your support helps me produce this podcast. Thank you so much for being our angels by listening, sharing, and supporting this show.
It's blowing my mind right now. So you have all of like the Capricorn, the Taurus, the Aries, the Libra, and so you have those for each different. There's a sun sign that you're one of those, like I'm a Capricorn. There's a moon sign where you're a different one, and there's a rising sign where you're a different one.
Yes.
Okay. Do you still have my chart there?
I don't have your chart right here. I should, Julie. I should have done that.
No, we'll talk offline. So this is why when people sign up for a reading with you on our website, theangelmedium.com, they have to give you their birth hour when they were born. They need to know that because it impacts their rising sign.
It does. And actually the moon, because if it's 2.5 days and we're sort of at the cusp of it switching from sign to sign, yeah, sometimes the moon even as well. So yes, very important. Yeah.
I'm like a kid at school with the professor. Keep teaching us, like keep going. This is so fascinating.
Okay. So can I give you an example? Maybe that will help the audience too. Okay. I'll use myself as a guinea pig because I'm pretty familiar with my own chart at this point in time. But for years, I always thought astrology was super interesting, but I never really resonated with me because I'm a Scorpio sun. And so I would read like what Scorpios and I'm like, well, kind of, but not really. And yeah, but not entirely. And so then I found out that actually my moon and my rising sign, I'm a double Virgo. So I started looking at Virgo information and kind of connecting that with some of the Scorpio information. It was like, oh, boom, lights came on. I'm like, oh, yes, because they're very different energies in astrology. They're very different. We're all unique and individuals, but yeah.
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 Amazing.
Yes.
So, what is the value then? Just talk to people about like when you're studying,
Yeah.
people want to learn more about their birth chart. I know the value, but tell people what's the value of it for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and this is from my perspective, certainly, but I think it can really help us to understand ourselves better, right? So we all have ways of dealing with things. We all have ways of, thinking and processing thoughts, and understanding really your own birth chart will help you see and connect more with maybe some of the just to know yourself better. I mean, I have found it so incredible in that area, and to really kind of accept that we're all different and we're all where we're exactly where we're supposed to be exactly in every single moment. So yeah, part of it I think is certainly for yourself. Astrology can be used for 100 things though. I mean, people come and they want information about career choices. They're looking for direction on life purpose, or it can vary in so many different directions, but there's just a lot of information there. And even like past life stuff and or ancestral issues, there are things inside of your birth chart that you can look at to help better understand that as well. So yeah.
Amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So, one of the things, and I'm just going to use this as an example, and people are like, oh my God, you're doom and gloom, right? One of the things that's in my chart is there's very strong energy around like having like a hard communication within your marriage. And every time I've gotten a reading, people are like, you're definitely going to have more than one spouse. And this and that. And I'm like, I don't want to hear this stuff, right? So, no, I'm not. Like, I have my own free will. We worked on our stuff. We're good. Like, we are so good. So, you came in and you had a completely different perspective, right? Like, you can see this from a different way. When you know that there's a challenge there, you don't have to look at it like it's the end of the world or that, like, that means that you're going to have more than one spouse. You can look at it and see, okay, this is an area where I need to put more energy into my relationship because it's a lesson that I'm supposed to be learning in this lifetime. And it doesn't mean that our marriage is, doomed. It means that if I just spend that extra time here, we can work through the lesson that we're supposed to work through and be on track.
Absolutely. 100%. Yes. And that can go for relationships. That can go, I mean, in so many different directions because yeah, we all have things in our chart that we're going to I mean, we're here to learn something. We're here for a purpose, right? It's not easy. This life is not easy. But I take the approach where, well, let's use astrology as a guide and some assistance. I mean, if you know it's going to rain, you might want to have an umbrella, right? If you know that this is going to be a challenging area of your life, give it a little bit of focus and, and get through it because all of everything inside of the birth chart, the zodiac, the planets, they all have what I would consider like a high road and then they have a low road. But there's a way to find what that high road is, right? So just because that's a challenge for you, it doesn't mean that it's a pitfall. It just means you need to know about it. And if you can see it and identify it and address it, that's great. Yeah, I don't, to your point, free will is everything. I mean, the energy is the energy, but we all choose, what we do and how we live our life. We have that ability. That's a beautiful part of this existence, right? We get to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is that what you mean by like a high road and a low road? Your low road is your pitfall. Your high road is you taking responsibility, you looking at your life and seeing how you can work through things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like just some of the energy speaking really generally, earth energy. I'll just talk about high road and low road. So earth energy. So earth is a very grounded energy. It can be slow, but it can also be very committed, right? So how people work with those energies is where the high road or the low road comes in, right? So does someone have a lot of earth energy and they come in and they're just sluggish and they're not getting anything done and they have no motivation and they have no fire and they have no desire or drive, and or are they taking that energy and are they very reliable and very productive and they're very organized? I mean, you can kind of see where that is. And then, I like to actually give homework sometimes in my sessions and say, hey, this is, is this something that you can commit to? Is this something that you can work on or put some effort into to see if we can kind of shift some of this and maybe move that around. So, yeah,
That's incredible. That is so incredible. So I'm looking over here at my notes. What about horoscopes? How is that different from, your astrological chart reading? Can you explain that to people?
yeah, absolutely. So, horoscope is going to be a very generalized bit of information for an entire zodiac sign. So, that's that 30 days I was talking about, right? So, anyone that's underneath that zodiac sign, that's generally the energy that's going to be felt within that horoscope, if you want to call it that. Whereas an astrological birth chart reading and or a specific horoscope for you as an individual is going to take all those other pieces and parts into consideration, right? So you may be a Capricorn sun, but you may have a Pisces moon, which is a very different energy, right? So it's about tying some of that together and making it very, very personal, but actionable, right? So you can do something with that information and not just be told, which is the part of horoscopes that I don't like. You're being told that this is going to be a bad week for you, or this is going to be a challenging month. Well, maybe I'm up for the challenge, you know? So yeah, that's the difference.
There's so much beauty that comes through challenge. Like it shifts us, it redirects us. To your point, do you feel that there's some people, because I know that there are, when it comes to energy healing and giving readings too, there are some people who just want to kind of attach to what they believe and anchor into that. And are there some people who use astrology to bypass the work? Oh, I'm just this way because this is what my sign says.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I would talk about as the low road because every sign has some amazing qualities, right? So if they're using it to hang on to, well, this is why I always struggle in relationships, or this is why I can't hold down a job. Yeah, no, I don't, I don't agree. I think we were given gifts to overcome our challenges. And that's what is so wonderful about having and or really personally studying your own chart to identify what are those hidden strengths and how can you use them to really make your life better. That's the magic, you know?
100%. So there's so much information, everywhere on social media, people TikToking about astrology.
Yeah.
You have vibrational alignment, but how do you really know like what's good, legit information?
Yeah, so it's a combination of both, right? I mean, who's writing it? What's their background? You know, I mean, just because we read it on the internet doesn't mean it's true. The same applies for astrology because I mean, a lot of it is interpreting how you as an astrologer, right? It's about interpreting how you see these different energies coming together. So if you're reading something or you're relying on someone's information, I just consider the source, right? Who are they? What did they study? How long have they been doing this? I mean, what's the background? But yeah, and a big part of it is just using your own intuition and your better judgment. I mean, we know, right? I mean, we know as humans, if something doesn't resonate with you and you're like, yeah, it just doesn't seem right. Yeah, probably isn't. So,
But that can be a little bit tricky because when you go see somebody who doesn't resonate with you, it's
yeah.
a sticky energy for people. And what I tell people is a lot of people don't know energy healing, but better yet, energy clearing, right?
Okay.
So if the energy sticks to you, and there is some attachment, right? That's attachment of our mind wants to spiral and just attach to the thoughts. Oh my God, what if she's right? Oh, as much as you want to be like, this doesn't
Right.
resonate with me. No, but like I'm attaching to this thought and I'm starting to spiral here. So this energy sticks to us. Do you have people come to you who like a hair colorist or who got like a bad haircut and is like, correct this?
I think sometimes, and I think just in life, we've been told so much and we're sort of already pre-programmed for what we, are expecting or what we have. But yeah, as far as the energy goes, yeah, that's a that's a tough one, but you're absolutely right. If it's a bad energy, then yeah,
Icky. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And just like ask God to clear it. Just
yes,
God to like free you of that energy, allow your mind to release it and stop thinking about it. When I have clients who come to me who got a bad reading and they want to correct that, I tell them, see, like every time your mind tries to take you to that negative place, see yourself where it is that you want to go. So if you worry, my mom or my dad passed of a heart attack, I'm worried about passing of a heart attack at an early age, seeing yourself being 99 years old, with your family surrounding you and really feeling into that. I've had some people come back over the years and say, okay, Julie, well, now I just do that all the time. And it's like, no, you don't have to do it all the time. You just have to do it, when the thought comes in that's negative, because then you're
Yeah.
doing the work to correct it. So talk to us, because you're this amazing healer. You've had this gift of doing astrology readings, but I see this all the time where people want to come into the Angel Reiki school to get a different piece. And I do believe as healers, we need these different pieces to just be on our unique path. Like we can mishmash different things together. You're also in the angel membership. Tell people, why did you want to go for that, when you were already an astrologer, and has it changed your readings at all?
Oh, absolutely. It has, just in that yeah, so a couple parts. I'll unpack that as best I can from my perspective.
Yeah.
It was a long question, but I'll get there. So why did I sign up? Because I've always known that I'm intuitive. I have that ability. Studying and working with you and on, through all of those programs has really just helped me to connect and identify how I am communicating with spirit, right? And it has, I mean, and that in and of itself was just wonderful. And I've always really wanted to practice energy healing anyway. So it was a win-win there. That is what hands down I love about your program. It's not just Reiki, it's the angel Reiki piece, which I've always been very connected to my angels and my guides. And now I'm more comfortable with who are they and what their names are and what they sound like and what they feel like, right? So that's been just on a personal level wonderful. I mean, absolutely amazing. And how that ties into practicing astrology is just it's like the icing on the cake. It's just wonderful. So astrology is very math orientated, right? You're looking at information that is based on, you know, mathematical where planets were and, all of that sort of thing. It's very different kind of information, but pulling in the energy and just really I always when I go over charts, and there's quite a bit of work that I put into a reading in advance, right? So you're looking at the information, you're checking dates, you're trying to understand how the chart was activated, and not over studying on a chart, but I also now meditate on them as well. So I can, when I'm having a conversation with a client, I can really feel and be guided by spirit in what direction does this reading need to go? What does this individual really need to hear and know? And, kind of what stands out. And it's been wonderful. That's awesome. I love that part of it. Yeah.
Yay! That's
Yay.
fantastic. I wanted to kind of dive into some examples that you have. Adria was able to pull up my chart. And so I know I'm a Capricorn sun sign,
Yep.
but what am I for moon and rising?
You are a Cancer moon and you are a Scorpio rising. Yep.
So the Scorpio rising, what does that mean?
Yeah, you're like a very high degree Scorpio rising. So immediately I would look at this chart and say, whoa, we've got a lot of intuition going on here, probably psychic or whatever word you want to use, but very connected spiritually. Scorpio is a very deep water sign. So this person can deal with some really heavy emotional stuff and it's not going to impact them. This is the person that's going to be comfortable talking about death and dying, that's also going to be able to work with, with that area of life and even professionally could. So yeah, the Scorpio rising among many other things that I won't get into, but just that mixed with that Cancer moon. Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. You've got so much. So the water signs are going to be
Is Cancer water too?
yes, yes. Yeah, so you're a double water earth. So just at a high level, this is a person, well, and Capricorn suns are usually very productive, they're usually leaders, they're can be independent, a lot of things there, but mixed with that water is going to give you, well, some people call it, muddy, right? So you've got water and earth combined together, but it actually can be an incredibly productive person, right? So they have the ability to slow down and be very personable. That's where the Cancer moon comes in. And yeah, sorry, I just keep going.
Oh, that's not. So, so outward appearance,
Yeah.
the Scorpio, does that mean that the intuition comes through? Like people can like I don't understand what that means.
Oh, okay. So let me ask this again. I can't remember if we did in our reading or not, but it's going to be where people just are sort of you probably come across maybe even mysterious a little bit and sort of deep, right? It's
Oh,
like, oh, they don't really know how to take you, or they're not really sure about you so much. Scorpio is absolutely the mysterious one,
oh, that's
right? So
interesting. Because
yeah,
Capricorn has a little bit of that too, where it says aloof a lot in
oh
different
yeah,
things. Like people think that you're aloof, but you're really not.
yeah. I would say Capricorns more can be like disconnected from emotion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not water signs. Water signs are emotion. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's where as a balance, right? So you're bringing in some energy that's very productive, very high level. That Capricorn energy is going to be like just as you're working and dealing with life, not so much in the minutia, but wow, it's the ability to come up here and see, well, this needs to happen and that needs to happen. And okay, we'll do this and this and this. And the higher level energy. Yeah, that's what I call I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and I think I've always held on to that in a way where I'm like, okay, well, that's so much my personality
Mhm.
that, like, I think actually I've attached to that and been like, well, okay, well, then I'm just going to go work, and not realizing that there has to be that balance and that flow in life has been a
Absolutely.
huge lesson. So outward appearance, I'm gonna keep digging here because I'm curious. Does that mean like how people see me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So how
So
can
how
people see me from the next Scorpio?
well, and again, right? So you are you, you're individual, you're going to have different, and as it's part of who we've become too, right? It's how we evolve in this life, which is also very much your ascending sign. So let's roll back to when you were a child, right? So when you were a child, I would say that would be you probably weren't like and I could be completely wrong, but this is just how I share these things, right? So the energy of a Scorpio ascending is not going to be the life of the party. It's not going to be huge competitor, right? The Scorpio rising is going to be more like, okay, I'm going to think all the way through that. I'm going to go down all these various channels and I'm going to have form all these opinions and figure it all out. And I'm not going to tell everybody everything because I'm gonna keep a lot of things, close to my chest because they're very private. And that's why they come across sometimes as just like they don't like you're a mystery. So it's probably been, well, I don't really know Julie. Well, I don't know. Well, she kind of says this, but I don't know. Right. So that would be more the outward appearance. Does that help?
Interesting. And I wonder if I work so hard to kind of override that because I feel like I've always felt internally like I just need to share everything. But I could see where like those looks that you get of that, where I could read that on people's faces, right? Is what I'm trying to say. And know that that's what they were thinking. And so then there's like an overshare.
It could be, and that's one of the things just about Scorpio in general is they're real hard to read.
Yeah.
Don't really know what they're thinking. How those different things have, come together for you. I'm just kind of looking at your chart here again to see what else kind of pops out for me. But yeah, it's
So then
yeah.
Cancer mean with like the emotions, the unconscious self. So I could go into a horoscope and look at Capricorn, Cancer, and Scorpio and feel connected in ways or like pull out bits of each and be like, okay, this is resonating, this is resonating, this is resonating, combine it all. And like, that's what I need to focus on right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're looking at horoscopes, and those are the big three, certainly, yeah, just take a look at them and see how that feels and what you're thinking. But I would be surprised if you didn't have some sort of connection, certainly with that Scorpio rising, because it's such a high degree number too. So, yeah.
What does
Yes.
that mean, like high degree number? So you could be like
Mhm.
a Scorpio to the max or a little bit.
Well, they're actually called decadents. So it's like there are 30 degrees in every zodiac sign, right? And your ascending falls, it's a very high degree. So it just means, from my perspective and what I've studied, it means that that is not your first experience with that energy in this in in life, or in however past lives, or however you want to believe it. But it's something that your soul, if you want to look at it that way, has experienced that energy before. So you're not a novice. You're very experienced in that particular energy, right? So you're good at it. You're not trying it out for the first time. Okay.
Yeah. So then what is the like number for Capricorn and Cancer? Like a lot or a little?
You're actually right in the middle. You're right in the middle on the Cancer, while you're just about 20 degrees in Capricorn. So, yeah, just a little bit higher. You're not a low degree number in any of them. So, yeah. Have you experienced the energies before? Oh, yeah. All of them.
All of
Yes.
them. Yes. Wow. Adria, I could talk to you for forever. I love you so much. Thank you
Uh,
so much for coming on the show and just sharing this for everybody. Everyone, you want to book a reading with Adria. It just blows my mind every time I talk to her. We talk about my chart. I learned something new. Thank you so much for coming on the show. If anybody wants to book a session, you can go to theangelmedium.com and go to sessions and then scroll down. You'll see Adrian's beautiful picture and a little description. Then you can book it right there on the website. Adrian, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Julie.
You too. Beautiful souls, if you enjoyed today's episode, please tell your people about it and share it on your social accounts. Friends, we're truly here to serve you. When I went through my spiritual awakening, there wasn't one book I could read or one place I could go to for all of the answers. I really had to piece them together myself. So what I did for you was create programs that I wish I had when I was awakening. For those who are seeking these same answers, I created a program called the Angel Membership with so many benefits. It walks you through 12 months of spiritual awakening with your angels and helps you to awaken fully yourself. You see, awakening isn't a one and done thing. There is a process to awakening, and this 12-month program walks you through it alongside your angels. In the angel membership, you also get access to a small group of peers to go through this experience with you. You get live access to me twice a month and so much more. For those who want to serve humanity by working as healers themselves, but don't know what their gifts are or where to start, I developed my Angel Reiki School, which opens you to all of your God-given spiritual gifts, teaches you how to use them and how to start a business for yourself. Students who go through both my Angel Reiki School and Angel Membership program for at least 1 year are eligible to apply to be a healer in my online Angel Wellness Center and work alongside me. Friends, I touch on all of this and teach you how to connect with your angels in my new book titled Angels and Awakening. Yep, just like this podcast. The book is available for pre-sale starting September 9th, 2021 on Amazon. Friends, your support helps me produce this podcast. Thank you so, so much for being our angels by listening, sharing, and supporting this show. When you leave a 5-star positive review, I enter your name into a monthly drawing to win a free session with me or an Angel Reiki School student. This month's winner is in the show notes. Now, here is a mini Angel Reiki meditation and visualization with your angels to help you lift your vibration and keep it that way the rest of the day. Friends, I want you to start by taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I want you to see yourself surrounded by angels. I want you to feel their warm, radiant, loving presence. And I want you to see yourself, it's December 15th, 2021. I want you to see yourself looking healthy, feeling healthy, mind, body, and soul. I want you to go inward and feel that you're so proud of yourself and all that you've been through, all that you've done, all that you've accomplished in 2021. And you're enthusiastically looking forward to 2022. Friends, I want you to connect with God, universe, source energy, and just take a moment to give thanks. Give thanks and gratitude for all of the blessings that have come your way and all of the blessings that you stand here right now in faith, knowing that they're on their way to you. Friend, as I lead you in this, your angels want you to ask God, universe, source, to show you what it wants for you in your life. See the big picture of what God, universe, source wants for you. I want you to pause and just allow the words, visions, feelings, or knowingness to come to you. And friend, when you connect with the other side, they will only give you positive, loving messages. So just take that moment right now. What is it that God, universe, source wants for you in your life? Allow yourself to be open to it. Allow yourself to see it, hear it, feel it, get a knowingness of it. And now your angels want you to ask God, universe, source, what is the next step I should take? Again, pause and allow the words, visions, feeling, knowingness to come to you, and remember they're only positive, loving messages. What is it that you see, hear, feel, or get a knowingness of when you ask, what is the next step I should take? Friends, I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I want you to feel all the love that is surrounding you. Feel yourself lovingly surrounded by your angels. Friends, they are guiding you, directing you, protecting you, and they're giving you signs to validate to you that you're not walking this journey alone. Allow yourself to believe the signs that you see. Allow yourself to follow the callings of your heart responsibly with faith. And allow yourself to feel the loving presence of your angels and your loved ones as they guide you each and every day. Friends, I love you. They love you. Open up your heart to all of the unexpected blessings that are on their way to you right now.